So you might hear some background noises because there are different people talking around me, but I'm not always doing videos. But when I do videos, I try to do them about different things that are going on in current events. So recently there has been a shutdown, and I believe we're in our 41st day of the shutdown under the Trump administration. And I know you see this here, it says misogyny, and the reason why I have the definition because I believe a lot of political misogyny is going on. To get straight to the point, the reason I'm saying this is because it happens in a lot of cultures, but particularly in the black culture. This is how I've seen this play out. I feel like when they, as in the Trump administration, primarily, and the Democrats, the Republicans and Democrats couldn't come to an agreement on the health care issue, and the shutdown started. When they started having all these different things, like the airport has been jammed up, a lot of different groups of people from different jobs, federal workers have been laid off, airports have long lines, multiple flight cancellations into the thousands, I believe. There's a lot of problems with government programs coming to a halt or either a delay. And one program that was pretty important was the SNAP program. So that program deals with EBT, people going to the grocery store and being able to get groceries and food for their families. And what I noticed is there were a lot of videos that started where there were men and women, and primarily some of these people, if not bigoted and racist, they're misogynists. They took the liberty of making videos to make fun of people who couldn't get food. And what was sad is they were making fun of black women who might be on these programs and can't get food for their kids. And what is more disturbing outside of just that, among many other disturbing details, is that these women would be then become vulnerable to men who are very predatory and prey upon women who are down and out and need money and some type of food assistance. And so I feel like this is a select group of individuals who are at the bottom rung, and they're more like bottom feeders. And these individuals like to see women in turmoil. So I use this term misogyny because I believe it has lots of layers to it. It isn't just one group or one culture that inflicts this type of, I would say, slavery, mental slavery on women, because it can become layers where in the definition here it says misogyny is hatred of, contempt for, prejudice against women or girls. It is a form of sexism that can keep women at a lower social status than men, thus maintaining the social roles of patriarchy. So, misogyny has been widely practiced for thousands of years. It is reflected in art, literature, human societal structure, historical events, mythological philosophy, and religion worldwide. So, I thought it was important to bring about the definition so that people would understand that misogyny has layers to it. So it is used in politics, it's used in the workplace, in schools, in social settings, societal settings, and in religion. And it keeps women from being able to rise to the occasion of who they are as human beings. Um, so I really do believe that it influenced the voting at the polls when Kamala Harris and Trump were going on the campaign trail and they were opponents trying to secure a political seat to be the president of the USA. And I feel like there are some people who don't want to see a woman lead, especially a black woman lead. And there's also that idea that if a black woman is leading, that it would bring more of a sense to most black women that they have achieved something and they could be at a higher status. And I feel like that right there, in and of itself, that was the deal breaker for a lot of the people who are, I would say, they practice misogyny probably 24/7, or their belief or mindset is that women should be in the kitchen or having children, or they should never be able to have roles of power, and that they're not smart enough. And then by it being a black woman, they don't want to see, racially, they don't want to see a black woman reach to that pinnacle of success, because what it does is empower many black women to feel that they could reach that level of success, and to give them that type of validation would hurt or bruise the egos of individuals who see women, especially black women, as being lesser than or being only good for, their sexual pursuits. And that, I believe, has a lot to do with the reason why they did not pick, one of many reasons why they did not pick Kamala Harris. I believe that when you have white women, it's similar, but it's on a different level because the woman is white. They feel that she could possibly maybe reach a level to pursue higher careers, but then again, her counterparts feel that she's only really good enough for raising children and for being a wife and dealing with maybe jobs or professions where a woman maybe can lead, but only to a certain degree or status, but never being the president of the U.S. And I believe that's why um, Hillary Clinton was not allowed to get to the level to become president of the U.S. because of being a woman. And even though she's white and she could possibly take on the role or leadership, it was prohibited because her counterparts don't see her as reaching that level of status, because that would validate, then again, women can get higher positions and be paid more. And it's always been where women are supposed to be looked and viewed as getting paid less and being more the nurturers and the person that stays home and raises the children, because it's a way of thinking when you're involved in that whole idea of patriarchy. And so that is why they never view women as having the mindset to lead a country, because they feel that a man is supposed to be the leader, a man is supposed to be the breadwinner, and he's supposed to be the one to make the more crucial decisions when it comes to war and politics. They don't feel that women in general have the know how or savvy or even know how to deal with when you're making those political decisions, that is a particular man's job. And I feel that it's bias. I feel that it has to do with patriarchy. I feel it also has to do with the gender wars that we deal with on a daily basis as being a woman. And now race plays a part in it when it happens to be a black woman. So I feel like men who like to see women down, because it's harder to get involved with women who have their head on straight. They know what they want in life and their pursuits, and they go for their goals, and they're not hung up on who they're in relationships with. They look at that as something that is more personal and it has its place, but they still pursue their if it's political or if it's their work world pursuits, they pursue it head on without wavering, and they keep a strong head, and they can lead, and they go for the jobs or the employment or the careers that are higher paying. They go and get the higher education, or they pursue careers and try to be as persistent and consistent and longevity with those careers, so that they can build themselves a, a history or work history. And so women that have those type of goals in mind make men who don't look for positivity, don't look for goal oriented individuals. They only want to bed women or use them or abuse or mentally be cruel and pretty much inflict a lot of stress and anguish and cause someone to go into deep depression, if not be extremely abusive to these female women, that they feel that they have to be the one that makes fun of them on videos, makes a lot of jokes about women trying to have a life and feed their kids. They are extremely critical of women when the woman decides to not have children, or she decides to pursue a career or college, or decides to pursue higher education or a higher degree or a higher way of living. And when she pursues this on her own, they find that being a threat rather than a plus, or that the woman has some goals in mind and she's positive and she has a positive outlook on life and she just has high pursuits just like anyone else would. She's not thinking of it as a gender thing. She's more thinking of it as a person thing, what she wants to do in her life. She has goals just like anyone else. So she goes and pursues it. She knows what she wants out of life. And they don't find that attractive. What they find attractive is some woman that is in distress and vulnerable that they can take advantage of and use. So I saw multiple videos of some men making fun of women who were no longer able to receive their SNAP benefits. And so, what does that say about individuals that take pride in seeing women who are no longer able to receive SNAP benefits because they can't feed their kids, and that now they can step in and act like they're going to help these women, but they never wanted to help. All they wanted to do was take advantage of a situation because they find it that she's vulnerable. And if it had been any other time that she's not really looking at that individual for any help, they see it as it's an opportunity to bed the woman or to use the woman or to abuse the woman instead of really trying to help a situation. It only takes one person to come into your life and ruin everything that you've worked hard for or your goals that you set for yourself or before yourself. That person comes to try to change everything, the whole dynamic, and basically ruin all of your pursuits that you have in mind. And so some people are not out for your best interest. They're not looking to lift you up. They're not looking to help you raise children. They're not looking to be a real partner for life. They just want to be someone that takes advantage. And then when they're done taking advantage, they move on to the next victim. And so that's what I've witnessed on a lot of the videos when the SNAP program had came to a halt, that a lot of women be careful because a lot of these guys, they're on these chat groups, they're online. They like to pursue women who are really young and have no experience in life. And they like to also take advantage of older women, take their money, or either abuse them because they take advantage of the fact that the woman might have had a husband that died and maybe she has money. She's already pursued goals, so she has money. They want to use you for your money, or they want to abuse you, make you feel like you're having a relationship, but they're actually taking advantage of your kindness and using it more as the weakness, and it benefits them. They can use you, they can take your money, they can abuse you, they can sleep with you. You don't know who is carrying diseases because now they have medications where you can get shots and you don't have to have pills, bottles in your house, because people would look in the medicine cabinets or they would try to see if the person was infected with something and that maybe they're taking medication because you don't know when that medication maybe not work. And now you've got a new disease, something you didn't have before you met the individual. So people are not honest. They don't tell the truth all the time. They can go and get a test, and maybe at the time they look negative, but that doesn't say for sure whether they're infected or not, because maybe they're at a healthy state. But once those pills stop working or the shot, they forget to go get a shot or they forget to take any medicine. Now they leave you vulnerable, and now you have not only heartache, you have a new disease, and you have to live with it if it's an incurable for the rest of your life. That's if your body can handle it, if you're able to live with it. So there's so many things that are going on in the world, and a lot of women don't really think about these things. Sometimes they are wanting to have or longing to have relationships that are meaningful, but at what expense? So you have to really be careful of who you get involved with. I've seen some young women being taken advantage of, like it's a week in, week out type of thing where they're used, they're told that they're in a relationship, and then you find out otherwise. So I'm even seeing that there's more femicide going on, which means that's women that are getting killed or unalived by a relationship or by people they thought they could trust. And so you have to really guard not only your heart, but you have to guard you and your mind, because some people, they want to believe that love is in the air, but there are a lot of predators out there too. You have to look at the reality of this, because you think that maybe you'll find them in a church, or maybe you'll find them at your workplace, or maybe you'll find them when you least expect it, but maybe you'll look online. There's risk everywhere. And it doesn't say that you have to be an old maid. There's no such thing as that. I don't believe that, because the way you came in this world, you came in by yourself. Unless you're a twin, you still came in by yourself, but you die. You know, a lot of times women sometimes will outlive the husband, and they wind up by themselves again. So you have to learn to be strong, you know, even when you have relationships with people. And you have to learn to see things for what they are, and don't let your eyes of your heart blind you to reality, that, you know, oh, I see this person, they look attractive, or they're saying all the right things, but that's what they want to do to get close to you. You see all of their best qualities before you see the worst. So just like one person can come into your life and bring a lot of joy, the same thing can happen on the other end. One person, it only takes one person to come into your life and bring a lot of havoc and a lot of hell in your life. And you have to just really be careful nowadays. And I believe that there is a lot of political misogyny. And it's sad, because I feel that's the reason why Kamala Harris was not voted in. I feel like a lot of these men thought it was okay to treat her like she was not really that important. And I feel like it was a racial component. Um, there was a lot of black men who didn't want to see Kamala Harris get voted in. You had rappers who wanted to pick Donald Trump because he has, what, the 34 convictions. He's supposedly a felon, and that was what the connection was, you know. But I think what really messed everything up is that now that the SNAP benefits not only, you know, were taken away from, you know, just more than 42 million people, that some of those guys, family members, might have been on those programs, might have needed it. And now you got to help your family members out. You voted for this administration. So there are a lot of people who voted for the administration, and they had their own hidden agendas. If it was racial, or if it was voting for racism, they thought a particular group of maybe black people were going to be more heavily affected. Um, and they wanted to see a lot of harm come to these communities. A lot of it was that reason. And then you had people who voted for this because they knew that programs would be affected, and if they're like really predators and they like to see women suffering, they didn't like the idea that a lot of black women were independent and they're able to go out and work and make a living without having to need anything from a man. And so you do have people who think like that, that if these women don't have jobs or they don't have food, then they'll come running to me and they'll need me. And you gotta think, like, what individuals would sink to that low, that type of low, to feel that since they can't pursue a woman who's strong and independent, we'd rather pursue women who we feel are vulnerable and weak and need us because you don't feel confident about who you are as an individual and you know you're a lowlife. And so there are a lot of those type of select group of individuals out there who make videos to make fun of women who can't feed their kids, or they're making videos saying that women are they have no father in the home, they're fatherless with the kids. The kids don't, they blame the women. It's always the woman's fault, as if the woman makes kids by herself. So you gotta wonder what kind of individuals would take pride in stuff like that. That tells you a lot about those type of men that do videos like that, and they sit back and kick their legs up and they get a kick out of seeing women suffering. So those are not really good relationships you'd be in if you're involved with one of those types. And there are a lot of them out there. I've seen that they take, pride in seeing women suffering. And that's not a good individual. That's not a good relationship. And then sometimes they'll use religion to make women feel like they have to be a stepping stool. And people who get a rise out of that, you gotta wonder, what individuals are like that. A lot of them voted for this man because he's like that. If you look at his history with the Stormy Daniels incident, some of the other incidences that people have accused him and allegedly, and some of it turned up to be validated. So think about that was also why people voted for him. So I know a lot of people said it was MAGA, a lot of people said it was racial. Yeah, it was all those things, but also you gotta also include in there the political misogyny and how he also wants to harm communities of color with all these taking away the programs and the SNAP benefits, and also taking away, financial aid because it's going to hurt a certain select group of people of color. They know what they're doing when they do these things. And people who take pride in that kind of stuff, you gotta wonder what kind of individual is that low that does that. It's not a joy to see people suffering that can't feed their families and they can't eat. But for people to gloat in that and to make horrible videos and make fun of women because they have to be a single parent as if it's all their fault. You gotta wonder about these videos and who's behind them that makes videos making fun of women like that. What kind of individual are they? It isn't good. It's not coming from a good place, I can tell you that. The other thing is that to see people that need assistance and to sit up there and laugh and joke. Sometimes there are situations that you feel that you can control and you think your life's going well, but any one of us, there's no day that is promised. You could be in good health and be able to go out and pursue a career, But one day you're going to get older and you might have health problems and you can't pursue those same careers the same way you did when you were younger. Sometimes there's young people that get in a car accident. Maybe they were doing all right, but all of a sudden, one health scare, one accident could then change your whole entire life. And now you need disability. You need SNAP. You need a program to help you get through from month to month because you don't have the use of your legs, or maybe you don't have the use of your eyes, or maybe you don't have the use of your limbs. So no day is promised to anyone. So for people to sit up here and make fun of folks because they are on a program or they're in need, you gotta wonder who sinks to that type of low. What kind of individuals are they? Really, who are they convincing to gloat with them? Other like-minded individuals who are just as low as they are? Everybody has their agendas. They also make fun of people that are on Section 8. Some of those programs, people need those programs because maybe something happened in their life. They might need those things. But for now, having an administration that wants to take all of the lifeline out of every program that is helping people who may not have the ability to just go to work like others, or pursue certain goals the same way as others do, and they have to take the extra effort and they might need some financial help along the way. You gotta wonder what individuals take pride in seeing others suffer. They're not good people that do things like that, and they want to go around saying they're Christian. Well, it's the same thing like I was always thinking and saying, this Christianity that they say this is, it's white Christian nationalism. And when you looked at the KKK, they were burning crosses in black people's yards and burning them, smoking them out. And they were burning the crosses because they believed that religiously they were supposed to do that because the Bible told them that they were superior, that they had to pull out and pluck out the weeds, that they had to stay on the neck of those that were inferior, that they had to pursue all of their goals, but they had to stay in power. And they had rituals. And the lynchings were part of it, and the burning of the crosses in the yard were part of it, and the Jim Crow was part of it. All of the things that have happened from year in to year out, decade after decade, it justified that. And then up to now, to where they're doing the same thing all over again. They just have a fancier way of doing it. They've been working on this for years to try to bring this back. This is what their Make America means. Great for them, but not great for people that are black and people that are Hispanic and people that are from other cultures that aren't Anglo-Saxon 100%. And then white people who are poor, you think that it helps you. The only thing you got is maybe your skin complexion, but doesn't help you much when most of you are on the SNAP program and he withdraws that program. He wants to end it because now it's going to affect you, and a lot of you voted for this administration because you thought it was going to hurt a lot of black folks. And it's hurting a lot of you, hurting your crops, farmers, all the people in Arkansas who depended on the program. All the people in other southern countries or states or whatever, red states that depended on the program, and now you can't get it, or you're not getting enough of it, or you don't know when it's going to open back up. So these are the type of things that people, I don't think they really thought about. Then you got these men who think it's funny to see women suffering. They're making videos talking about now she's going to want me. She's going to want me to bring that $40 over so she can go buy some bread and some cereal and some milk for her kids. What does that say about a man that does something like that to a woman? And then he expects her to sleep with him after he's given her a measly $40. But he can't take her out to dinner. He can't help her raise the kids. He can't be honest. He can't tell the truth about who he's been laying with. So this is the kind of stuff that people do on social media. Making videos, making fun of women, talking about they're not black enough. And then if her hair has a weave, they're making fun of that. If she wears a regular hair, they're making fun of that. So she's not good enough. You know, you gotta wonder, people, what individuals stoop to this low? So that's why I made this video, because I wanted to be honest and forthright that these videos are very tasteless, they're very disturbing, they're gutter, and they're evil, and it isn't coming from a good place when people take pride in watching others suffer. So, to see Kamala Harris, people made fun of her, they talked about her not being black enough, they used the birtherism line, and then you seen videos of black women who, if they were on the SNAP program, people thought that it was funny to see that she no longer can get any food. So what person takes pride out of that? And then you got women who they think it's okay to be with a man as long as they're with a man, but he's not a good one, just to say they're with somebody. You know, that is really wrong to do that to someone. I mean, I don't understand why people think that taking pride out of seeing others go without is a notch on your belt, whereas a pursuit to someone vulnerable so that you can benefit from them because you feel that they're vulnerable and weak. So what is the SNAP program? It's the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, formerly known as food stamps, that helps a lot of people out. This one says New Yorkers, but it helps people in most states. This includes families, individuals, elderly, people with disabilities, and you can purchase food by using the electronic benefit transfer, which is better known as EBT cards. And so that's what the program is for those who might not be aware of what it is, but it helps people to buy food. So that's the abbreviation, and that's what it is. And so for people to make fun of people because they're no longer able to feed themselves, you're really not a good person. You're not a Christian to watch people suffering and to make fun of them and make videos laughing at them and talking about how they can't eat and how it's their fault and blaming them. Because everybody is not lazy. Everybody is not just somebody that is bleeding off the system as you'd say they are. Some people really do need it. It said specifically elderly and disabled people as well. So you forgot about those people because you're not looking at that. You're only looking at your own agenda and your own nasty comments on how to make fun of people because you think you're all that. You think you have everything, all the world wrapped around your finger, but you're no better than anyone else. And the same things that have happened to others can definitely happen to you. You never know. That's why you don't make fun of people when they're down. You don't kick them when they're down. So that's what I'm saying. I just think it's sad that we have classless individuals that will take every effort to make nasty videos, especially talking down on their own race of people as well. You got black men, some of them that do that and want to put people down and hurt them, and all because they can't lay with someone, which is a very sick, perverted way of thinking. And so I just want to leave you with that because I've seen the videos. It's disgusting, and it shows you what kind of people they are. And they picked this president because they like to see that kind of stuff, because they feel like it was going to be a way for them to mosey in on somebody's life and ruin it, basically. You're already going through something, but then here they come, make things a whole lot worse. Anyway, I'm going to let this go, but I really do hope that they get things together. Right now, it doesn't look like it is together. What I heard recently is that a circuit court judge said that the Trump administration needed to give full benefits of SNAP program, but they appealed that whole thing, and they want to give only partial benefits. I would say they really just want to stop the program altogether. And the way this is looking, it isn't good. And the deal that they claim they made, that wasn't a good deal either, because it didn't guarantee that it was long term. That's what I read. You guys better stay informed with what's going on, and you better be careful about who you get involved with, because some of these people, these jokers out here, they thought this stuff was funny. It isn't funny at all.